The first little bit went exactly as you would like if you're a Georgia fan. We had that interception right off the bat, and it scored a touchdown on a short field. And then Ole Miss kind of got into a rhythm with their backup quarterback, and then Dart came back in, and then he kept it up. It was kind of funny though when the backup was in. I was like, "Can we put Dart back in? Because this is not working out well." But it didn't seem to matter in the long run. Again, I'm not going to summarize the whole game, but again, Georgia is on the bad side of the turnover ratio. Fumbled the ball four times in this game, two by Nate Frazier, two by Carson Beck, and then the pick by Beck on a deflected ball. So the offensive line, I think a lot of people have seen the video that's out there where they're just basically letting people blow by them like a bunch of turnstiles out there. Um, Nobody could hold on to the ball, as I mentioned.
But by the
The-
way, Wes, if we could
yeah,
take just a second to kind of talk about that play, I went
yeah.
back and looked at that, and if you watch that play, it looks like what happened is I think Beck, when he steps to the line, makes a couple of alterations, calls an audible. I'm not sure what happens.
Maybe like a screen.
Maybe, but there seemed to have been some sort of miscommunication between that guard and that tackle on the right
Oh
hand
yeah, it's
side, because
totally miscommunication.
it looked like both of them were trying to get to that second level to get the linebacker, and they just let the tackle on the defensive end through. So
Yeah.
I think it was more of not it's don't put it as a lack of effort on Georgia's
Yeah.
fault. I just think it was an
So
execution issue.
whether it was a skill issue or a communication issue, it's still awful, an awful
Mhm.
look.
I mean, but
Um,
that wasn't the only play
right,
That's
yeah,
that they
true.
that's
were
just the one that
less
sort
than
of
satisfactory.
Hmm.
encapsulated the issues that were going on.
Maybe they
Um,
just felt like rain.
Maybe that could be that too.
I hope
Uh,
it rains Saturday in Athens then.
so here's an interesting stat. Georgia lost while scoring only 10 points for the first time since 2016, Kirby's first year. Also, another stat that I saw. This is the first team that Georgia has lost to that has not been named Alabama since what 2020, I think, or
Hmm.
2021 or something like that. It's been a minute. Just kind of the game was really just an embarrassment if you followed through the whole of it. The only thing that Ole Miss really did poorly all night was storm the field with the time still remaining.
I have
Um,
thoughts and feelings. I
I
shall wait.
I knew this was going to be a rough game when I realized that they could lose and still be in the playoff hunt. Georgia just absolutely refuses to get up for games when they don't have to. I've talked about this with many people where we lack playmakers. There is no person on the team right now where you just say, "Oh, we just got to get it into so and so's hands. They're going to make a play." There's no one on the team like that where you can just say they're going to step up and make the big play. It used to piss me off when people would say, "Well, how can Georgia survive without Brock Bowers or Lad McConkey?" Because I was like, this is the highest level of college football. You have to just have the next person step up, right? But it really is true. No one has stepped up for Georgia all year long. The coaching, the play calling is an issue as it has been all year long. I don't even really know where you begin fixing this. And I've heard people talk about where we have to adjust our thinking, with the new playoff, these two losses, obviously we still have the season in front of us, but I'm not saying that that's not the case. What I am saying is the product on the field right now looks really bad, and it's looked really bad for a long time, and it's finally caught up to Georgia in the form of a loss. Obviously, we had the Bama loss, but that as well. Um, Ole Miss was just flat out better. We listened to them talk about Lane, how he started this win a year ago, where he realized that Ole Miss could not hang with Georgia or other teams up top like that. So they went to the portal. They did all these things trying to shore up, deficiencies that they had on the team. To his credit, he did what he needed to do to shore those things up. I'm not saying Georgia can't improve and do better, but this was a huge setback, not only for this season, but also for this program that had high hopes coming into the season. So, and then at the end, just an absolutely awful look for Carson Beck. I'm not expecting him to be in tears on the sideline after a loss. You know what I mean? Whatever. But giggling with your teammates after an utter embarrassment is not the look that you want from the supposed leader of your team.